Okay, again, here I am. Okay, no problem. How you doing, Mr. Premier?
I'm doing all right. A little cold, but I'm doing okay.
You're doing okay. A little cold. Either that or those interviews were very long-winded today.
Well, you know, how many have I done today? 6, 7, something like that? It's been a lot.
How did the Steve Murphy one go?
Well, it remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Editing there. Editing.
Yeah.
No editing here.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah, my God, last time I was here was with Brian Gallant.
Oh, yes,
And
okay.
there was a whole pile of people here. And,
Really? Keep an eye on you.
yes, bodyguards. I know you.
Really? They were here watching you?
Yeah, there's what those 3 bodyguards behind me now.
Yeah.
If I, you know, I got to be careful. Nice
Yes.
bodyguard. Yeah,
Yes.
very nice. Anyway, who was there? Bill Fraser was here. Miss Bill. Speaking of Bill, now Gagetown, the ferry, is that coming back?
Well, you know, we haven't found a ferry yet, but we're looking for an opportunity there for that area, because I said we'd work with the community, so I'm hoping that we'll find a solution. But I haven't found one yet.
I remember when you ran for the election, you said, well, I'm not going to promise you, which you never do.
No,
I'm not going to
no.
promise you anything. But
That's right.
It's if it comes, it comes.
Yeah, and if we can find the right situations that makes it work. I mean, as I told you before, I would have given him the ferry.
Yeah.
I would have said here, and I actually suggested that to Bill Fraser at the time. I said, why don't you just give it to them? Let them, because the farmer there goes back and forth through the ferry.
Where is it now?
Oh, that one is sitting in St. John. It was, but I don't know who owns it, but it right there when you go across the Harbor Bridge, it's sitting there just to the left by DMK Marine. Sits right there. I see it every day, and I come up here.
Okay. You're the only one I know, and think in history, you used to be finance minister, and you became premier.
Is that right?
I think
That's
so.
first?
I think that's a first. You left the door. Okay, bye-bye, in the opposition. You came back. You told the bureaucrats, show me the financial papers. And you must have looked at that and went, shit. No, but
I don't know if those are my exact
no,
words.
but what really caught your eyes? What really caught your eyes?
What caught my eyes is that as a province, we had been spending money about 3 or 4 times the rate of inflation, which means it added about over $1 billion or $2,000 a day, a year rather, $2,000 a year to every working family in the province, in terms of new taxes, so that money has been added to the cost of running the government. So $1 billion more per year than it was 4 years ago, $2,000 a year more for every working family. And I said, so where are the results to justify that level of spending? So I've asked each department, as part of the upcoming budget, I'm asking each department I know where you were when we started, so I want to know now, you know, I know when they started, when I left in 14, at this point in 18, we're at a different level. I want to know what the money has been used for, what has been accomplished by this change in spending in your department. And that's part of the process we're going through now to develop the
So you really,
budget.
it was really bad.
Well,
From the way you left it, it was really bad.
yeah, I mean, the expenses are all going up. All the trends are going in the wrong way, and you kind of say, well, what happened here? It was like you know, it was like spending gone wild.
Pipeline. Why waste our time talking about that?
Well, it's not a waste of time. You know, we have stranded assets in Alberta, and they're losing $80 million a day on the cost of the oil. And they haven't exactly got a pipeline going west yet, and they haven't got one going south. We have 5 provinces lined up, but not Quebec. And that's been the problem from the beginning. But Ontario was a bit of a problem, but they're not now. We have Alberta, we have Manitoba, we have Saskatchewan, we have Ontario, and we have ourselves.
That's
and the
different.
only province holding us up is Quebec. And because here we have a crisis where our own reserves in the country, Alberta's been feeding our families for years. We get $3 billion of transfers, every year from the federal
But
government.
you can't compare Alberta to New Brunswick. I mean, have you been to Saskatchewan and Alberta?
Yeah, I've been
there?
to Alberta. I haven't been to Saskatchewan.
Okay,
I
and-
will be, though. I have a daughter now in Saskatchewan.
It's flat. I mean, compare
Yeah.
Jasper and Banff,
Yeah.
Saskatchewan, and it's flat. Here, there's mountains
Yeah.
all over. And if something happens, it goes to the streams, the rivers. It's different atmosphere, the geographic. It's different, you know.
Well, we have oil reserves. You know, we have a pipeline doesn't affect that issue. We can move through here with the pipeline.
But if nothing happens.
Yeah, but they're doing it with rail cars today.
Yeah.
So all this displaces the rails off the tracks. That's a lot more of a risk than a pipeline. And so for me, it's a connection of the dots between our transfer payments and the province that's been sending us money.
But Quebec will not allow that. Because
Well-
those Quebecois, sorry, I won't say the word moody, but those Quebecois, they're not stupid. Have you talked? Who's the
Premier
premier?
Legault. And I
Legault.
did. I
Did
met
you
with
talk to him?
Yes.
How is he?
Well, he's a great guy. We had a great discussion. He'd like sell us hydropower, but yet he doesn't want to have any oil come through the province in a pipeline.
But they got to separate from Canada. They need clean water.
Well, you know, they're getting 11, 12, 13 billion plus on transfer payments. 13 billion out of 19 that goes to Quebec. And they're not interested in helping deal with this situation. And we need an opportunity here, Charles, in New Brunswick. And I wouldn't have believed it. But when I was in that meeting, the national meeting with all the premiers, it was like there wasn't a national strategy. And there wasn't a national interest from Quebec to kind of look at the rest of the country and be part of a solution.
Maybe they should start work among themselves inside, right, to tell the people, you know, what a pipeline is. Because
Well,
if you don't have that, there's no
You're
way.
right. You're absolutely right. I think the communication strategy did not go well when TransCanada was there, and I think that the challenge is to compare a pipeline with the rail cars coming through, which they had that big disaster,
Yeah.
and also to look at the ships coming up the river, which are bringing crude oil up the river. The pipeline could displace a good number of those. That is a much safer transit mode than the ships or rail cars.
Show gas.
Yeah.
Why would you want to bring that issue back up?
Why would I not want to bring that issue back
Because
up?
they're gonna cause trouble. Acadians, French, natives, you know that.
No, well, let's talk about that.
Excuse me. Was your brain frozen in time with Joe Gas? Come on. Okay, go.
Oh, you come on. So here we are out in Montreal, meeting with the premiers, and here's the province. What do you think? Who do you think's got the cleanest province in the country, kind of generally?
Here.
Well, maybe we are at this point, but in some ways. But in terms of environmental activists and things that are really looking at how do we do things in
Quebec.
different ways, Quebec or BC. And BC they are promoting and are building a $42 billion private sector investment, an LNG plant. They've had shale gas for 50 years. And Premier Horgan, who I met and discussed this issue, he said, we have had no trouble at all with our shale gas operation. And it's because of that we're able to build this plant, this major plant that's supported by the First Nations. It's supported by the people in the province. And I'm sure there are naysayers, but generally it's going forward and supported by the federal government.
Yeah, but here.
So here's that business out there. And guess who works with, and it's a coalition to the NDP government, John Horgan's government, the Green Party.
Green Party.
So here they are in coalition with the Green Party and the NDP, and they're building an LNG plant. But here in New Brunswick, the Green Party says, oh, well, no, we wouldn't support that. So, you know, Charles, I've said it a few times today, but it's like maybe we need a little different shade of green here in New Brunswick.
What about consulting the natives?
Yes, absolutely.
Have you, when you announced?
Well, we set up for the first time ever a new department dedicated to working on Aboriginal issues. Jay Stewart, that's right. And to focus. And so we need to work with First Nations on any of our development projects, but we need to have development. We need to transition into a green economy. We just can't jump into it because people can't afford to pay for it.
Are you going to set money? There's going to be protests, as you know. Are you going
Why
to
is there
set?
going to be money for a protest?
Because people don't want it. That's why.
Well, now you could be more helpful here, you know.
They want clean water.
Well,
They want clean water.
BC has clean water. Nova Scotia or Saskatchewan has clean water. The U.S. have developed major industry.
You know what's
clean-
going to happen in the U.S. There's so much shale gas in the U.S. that their water is going to be destroyed forever.
No, that's a myth, Charles.
That's a myth.
That's a myth.
Listen, Mr.
That-
Trump.
that-
Mr. Glaze.
that-
Mr. Glaze.
I'll shut it down.
No. But it's not a myth. It can't be a myth because if you put chemical in the air, it's going to destroy it.
No, we're not
Forever.
putting chemicals in the air. I mean,
In the air, in the earth.
the whole. Yeah, but this water that is used for the fracturing process is treatable the same as water that's used in a refining process, in a industrial process of other kind. It is treated the same way. In fact, Charles, In fact, some areas actually dispose of the wastewater from fracking operations in the municipal water system.
That's another thing.
The municipal wastewater. You know, when they're treating municipal waters, they use it. They treat this in the same system.
Maybe me and you will have this. We'll do half an hour on this issue only, at the wastewater, where it's going to go and all that. But this is a year-end interview, and I don't want to catch your cold. You don't have to tell me. That's enough. Just kidding. Okay, paramedics.
Yeah, very nice people.
Very nice people. Smart people.
They are.
Steve Murphy, you were talking with him this morning or this afternoon. How did that go?
I think it went all right.
See how I jumped fast from
you
paramedic
did?
to Steve
How did you
Murphy?
do that? What was that about? You kind of got me off track here.
No. Steve Murphy was talking to the paramedics, the paramedics from Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. And never once did they talk about bilingualism, paramedics. He never, Greg, the union guy,
Yes.
he never spoke once about bilingualism being a concern with the paramedics. Mm-hmm. So what's the problem here? What's the issue?
Well, in the case of the paramedics here, the issue was they had, I think, 60-some paramedics that were unilingual, that were senior people, that not able to be employed. And so we were parking ambulances, and yet we had people not being employed because they weren't speaking both languages. And that could be in French New Brunswick or English New Brunswick. So that was the issue. And what was trying to be done for a while was basically pay double time to try to get people to work longer hours. But what was the biggest issue was that people who had been working with the system for, let's say, 20 years were working on a casual basis. They never were hired full-time because they weren't speaking both languages. So when a position would come up, it could be someone who retired, all of a sudden that position, once they retired, became bilingual, or it could be a bilingual position initially, and the person couldn't get there because they'd been 20 years. So here they are, 20 years as a paramedic, and never able to, let's say never able to take a mortgage.
Because they couldn't speak French.
Because they couldn't speak both languages. No, couldn't speak French or English.
French or English.
Could be either one.
Yeah.
So that's where it came to a head. So Medivy had a solution for at least a good part of it was the transfer system, in which they're going to hire paramedics unilingual to transfer a unilingual English or French person to a hospital or wherever. And so they came up with that plan, and that'll look after some of it. And then the other part of it was based on this McAvoy case, where they basically would say, we're going to put people on the ambulances so that ambulances aren't parked, and then we'll train for language. And that's where that was. Well, that's being challenged through judicial review, so I guess we'll see where that turns out. But in the meantime, let's keep ambulances on the road, because healthcare is important.
Are bureaucrats or workers are they gagged to talk about bilingualism? Are they allowed to talk about it? Some people say, well, they're not allowed to talk about it. Is that true?
I don't know. We'd have to ask them. I mean,
I did ask. He wouldn't answer.
And they didn't tell you?
No. And he's about 6'5", and he chews his gum like. If he comes after me, that's it. I'm out of here. He's a big boy. But is everybody allowed? Any government workers allowed to talk about bilingualism if they're concerned?
I would like to think it's an open door policy, that if they have concerns they can talk to people about it. But I guess reality is, if they were concerned about their job and they weren't bilingual, then maybe they feel that they can't speak.
Ted Fleming, one of the most honest, straightforward individual have I ever met. When he first came here, he won the by-election. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And he realized, speak almost the same language, he realized this is all bullshit. Like he was frustrated by, I see him so frustrated, and even
you're talking about the whole government process.
Yeah, and Donala Sano was agitating him, and it took a while for Ted to really get into the thick of it. And what he said at news conference, and then you get the radical Acadians. His speech was wonderful. I want people to live. I don't want people to die.
Did you tape that sheet? Did you post that?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. Yes, I did, because he wants people to live. Mm-hmm. And then you got the radical Acadian. No. How do you put everybody together that we could talk?
It is.
I'm talking too much here. Sorry.
It is I guess an opportunity we have for sure. I don't think anyone disputes the fact that we have to put healthcare number one, and it is a debate we get into back and forth about, well, okay, what's the law say, and can we do that? And so I think you get into an element of common sense to just say, look, we're going to train to meet our legal requirements, but if we're short people, we want to first and foremost have the ambulances in service, and I think that's common sense, and I think across the province it's common sense.
Hey, we're going to fight.
Yeah, pardon?
It don't matter if are we really going to push it at, well, we're not doing nothing until the courts.
No. We said
moving.
We said we're moving on it. We'll let the courts do their thing, but we're actually going to make sure ambulances are staffed.
And Robert Gauvin is on your side.
Yes, he is. He agrees that we need to make sure that our citizens have health care provision. And so, yes, he absolutely agrees.
Language Commissioner, are we going to tell that person bye-bye?
Well, the current one is in an interim basis, so I think that Michel Carrier is only there. I'm not sure of the term, but he's there as an interim right now, right? Because he came back to kind of fill in.
$500,000 a year.
Is that what it is? Wow.
What a waste of money.
You think it is? What would you do?
Oh, bye-bye.
Why?
We already had this conversation. I mean, it causes problem between French and English. It says Catherine d'Entremont set us back about 50 years, and you got a complaint to go to human rights or the ombudsman. That's what I would do.
Is
but
that right?
You have an opinion on that, or you keeping your mouth shut?
Well, it's probably better for me to listen to your opinion. But
I will have some sympathy for you. You have a cold. So.
Yeah, I do. But here's what. Let me tell you what I say about that. What I think is that the role is a official languages commission. And when I asked previously Catherine d'Entremont about the state of our English school system in teaching kids to be bilingual, she basically said that wasn't in her mandate as language commissioner. And I said, but if we were able to meet these standards, then this wouldn't even be a discussion today, because we would be graduating bilingual students. Because we graduate less than 10% in our French immersion program. So I said, there's the root cause of why it's even a discussion. So for me, the role maybe needs to also include what is the process that gets our students and the next generation prepared, and not lose sight of that. And until we get there, we have to have some flexibility in the system.
It's very simple, because they go French immersion, they come out, but it's like a password. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
And you're in St. John French immersion. There's nowhere to practice it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
It is a reality, isn't it?
And don't forget, the rules are simple here. Don't speak French. You and David Albert and Sean Graham.
What are you talking about?
No, please don't. Okay, there's cough that side.
No, that
okay.
hurts.
Speaking of French, Mermon-Cook. Have you been there?
I have. I haven't been through the institute, but I've been to Mermon-Cook.
You've been in Mermon-Cook? What do you think?
What?
What do you think? Were you there at night? Were you there?
No. I mean, I just drove through. I wasn't.
Just drove through?
Yeah.
You never?
I haven't been there to an event. I think we visited up in the area. We visited a couple businesses there.
You never went? It's beautiful, Mermon-Cook.
It is beautiful.
Beautiful
yes.
valley.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Le berceau acadien, the Acadian cradle.
It is.
So why did we want to shut down the institute?
It was shut down in '63, I think it was. When they moved the university out of there to
University, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't shut it down.
No, but
that's when it was shut down.
Okay. Oh boy, hey, for a guy that has a cold, you're on the ball here.
Well,
so okay, we're gonna.
so it wasn't on my shift, Charles. So.
Good. Okay, so they wanted to. What's the future hold?
I don't know. I've said to them, because I'd spoken to the mayor during the campaign, and so the government had committed $40 million to rebuild it, and even when we were there, I remember when we were talking with members of our party at the time, there wasn't a use, there wasn't a defined use. So I had met with the mayor, and the mayor asked me a question and said, "Would you complete this project?" And I said I wouldn't leave a project half done. I said if it's essentially completed, we'd carry on and finish it. But I said he said, okay, well, that's nice to hear that. So then when I got in here and I looked at the project, $40 million, $20 million of which was provincial money, but no plan no plan that what it was going to be used for. There was some talk that it was going to have a department of federal department go there, but that isn't going to happen. So my question was, well, we don't need to spend money here. We don't have planned what it's going to be used for. So I said, tell me what it's going to be used for and how we're going to have a facility that has an actual purpose rather than just spend money.
So did consult with them?
No, I told them, as a result of us canceling the project for now, we've asked the community to say, tell us what it's going to be used for.
So it's like there's a new MLA now with Megan.
Yes, yes.
And the Green Party.
Yep.
And maybe she doesn't know really. And the new writing, it used to be Merrimack and now it's Merrimack and Sackville.
Yeah.
And really the Acadians are sort of, couldn't this open a whole can of worms? Like, you know.
Well, but you know, I guess the same goes with the talk about making decisions that make sense. I mean, I could say to you, Charles, would you spend $40 million on something you don't know what you're going to do with it?
What am I talking with here? Chris Austin or Blaine Higgs? Makes
Nothing
sense?
to do
Common
with Chris
sense?
Austin. It's just
common sense.
Well,
makes
common
sense?
sense should be something that we all share, right?
Consult. So you're going to consult more on this issue.
I want decisions made based on an actual fact of what's going to be done.
That's what you're telling
And
me.
don't come to me looking for money, and not have
There's
any
no
plan for what you're going to do with it other than just spend it.
That's fair enough. Centennial Building. What's going to happen there?
You want to buy it?
Is Mr. Irving going to offer to buy it?
No,
Will you sell it
I don't know. I will sell it, but
to Mr. Irving?
the highest bidder.
Mr. Irving.
Well, if they're the highest bidder, but I don't think you'll see them offer on.
Why not? They'll be right beside the legislator.
I don't think that's where they want to be. Why would they want to be beside the legislature?
That's right. They already have. By the way, Mr. Irving been here?
No. Well, there have been Irvings here.
Yeah. Which one?
In meeting forestry sector.
Forestry. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been here.
Kenneth there?
No, I haven't.
Arthur?
No.
Okay. But no. But what's the Justice Building to be shut down? I agree with you 100%.
Well, there you go.
I agree. It should have a provincial jail first.
Is that right?
Because
Okay.
and I'll be the first inmate there.
I was going
We're just going to say
I almost was going to say, are you looking for better accommodation or what?
As long as I got TV, I'll be all set. Oh, your assistant is standing up. I better hurry up. So anyway, no, but the bottom line is the Centennial Building, you don't know what you're going to do?
There was another case, Charles, where I looked at the project. And I said, so what is going to be done with the Centennial Building? Because the courthouse was out behind it. I mean, it was a huge, great thing. It wasn't that building. There was another one behind it. And I was kind of given some information about, well, we think we'll move people here from here to here. I said, so we're going to be moving people around the city out of places that we're leasing today, and we're going to put them in this building. We're going to put them in this building. I said, why do we need this building? We built this one. So we don't need another one.
No. Okay. We're spraying. An opinion on that? Are we going to stop spraying?
We are going to analyze what the impact of spraying is.
What does that mean?
Today, every bit of information that we have does not say that glyphosate spraying is a hazard to your health. It doesn't. The facts don't say that. However, I want to make sure that we can provide that information and people can provide us information to verify the status. Because here's the challenge. It's not only forestry sector. And we're not alone here. I mean, there's like Quebec have banned it on forestry, crown land, but most places have not done any of that, and it's still used highly in agriculture. So it isn't about only forestry issue. This is agriculture as well. So we need to understand, because it's a huge impact.
So it'd be like Brian Gallant. He said he's waiting. The Health Canada said it's safe. It's safe.
Well, we might want to go deeper than that, just what Health Canada says, because we need to convince people that it's either safe or it's not, and if it's not, we'll deal with it.
Forestry Act.
Yeah, we want to open that up.
We want to open that up. Are we going to reopen back that?
That act, in reality, Charles, that hasn't been opened up since 1982.
And you signed it. You with David?
No, you're talking about the forestry deal that was done in 14.
Yeah.
But this is the act on how we manage crown lands, how we manage forests, rivers, streams, all that stuff that we look at and say, are we doing the best we can with the lands that we protect and own? And the idea is to have that full-blown look. Because I'm tired of us saying we don't manage our forests, they do it better in Europe, where our floods are caused by clear cutting. We got to resolve this, because in today's day and age, this shouldn't be a discussion. We should be able to say, here we are. Here's what we're doing.
A worker told me at the Chipman plant that he never seen so much wood coming through that plant. He's very concerned of the
Really?
environment. It's very bad. They just cut the wood in the States, cut the woods in the States, cut the wood really bad. So you're gonna have a look at it?
So you mean they got a lot of export going on?
Yes, a lot of wood are coming in. A lot of wood are just coming. They've never
Well,
seen that.
looking at the whole, I've been told that our forests are in a very sustainable plan, but I want to be able to communicate that if it's real and deal with it if it's not. I've also, asked about the whole concept of our softwood lumber agreements that need to be dealt with, the management of the sustainable forest, like improving the size of conservational lands. So we've been looking at that already, saying can we move from where we are today to work towards a national standard of 17%. We can't get there all at once, but we may be able to shift from where we are now to 10% and then keep working to the national
Your
standard.
communication person is grabbing me by the back of my head. Francophonie.
You go late, I get home late to my baby, so you're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, I know. Francophonie.
Yes.
We're going to have an inquiry. Are you going to ask for an inquiry?
I don't know what we're going to learn by that, actually. We did, the federal government did an analysis here a while back, and they came back with a price tag that was up in the
Yeah, I know.
80 or so.
It's crazy.
I think what we have here, Charles, is a fundamental structural problem. I think that we should have a national game here that is managed by the federal government. It could be in different provinces with different provincial participation, but it shouldn't be shifting. Like we are kind of 3 countries out of the 88, right? We should be 1 country out of 87, and basically, or 86. We should be going with national oversight under this. It could move from one province to another, but as a province, we can't afford to do this.
Larry Gulch, are you going to sell that?
No, no.
No? Sense Mine, have you been there?
No, I haven't.
You haven't been there?
No.
When you plan to go there?
Well, I'm not sure, actually. I don't have it on the calendar just yet.
Homelessness, are you going to do something about that?
We did something about that.
What?
What? We, in record time, had homes open here, Moncton, Fredericton, Moncton, St. John.
Jeff Carr did very good.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, okay, right quick.
We get the job done.
You got 15 seconds, right quick. Any plans on incentive, this is a question from people, to bring parents in homes instead putting them in old folks home? Like there's one parent that's disabled, to bring both parents at home. Will there be any incentive?
That's a home care model.
Yeah.
Yes, we are focused, and that's in our
Are you
platform.
focusing on that?
Yes, indeed. That's in our platform. Put the money in home care, not in buildings.
Property tax going up. If somebody want to buy a new home, take the property tax is high. Something's going to happen there?
What's the problem with property
The
tax?
property tax is a little bit too high.
Really? Well, taxes are always too high. So ultimately, we're looking at the double tax scenario so that people renting can get a reduction in their rent in apartments, and but it's based on getting our budget balanced first.
For you to accept a bribe, what's your weakness on food?
Chocolate milk.
Okay. Carbon tax, right quick, if there'll be signed carbon tax, chocolate milk, I can't even answer that. She's gonna set me up. Anyway, you go, carbon tax. If there's 98% of the people in New Brunswick do not understand this carbon tax, and we don't have time. But do you plan to make a deal with the refinery will be exempt from the carbon tax?
No, I don't plan to make a deal, but I do want our industries to be treated fairly with other industries in the country. And I don't want us to be competitively disadvantaged because of an unfair tax. So all I'm asking for is fair treatment for our businesses, and I don't want a tax levied on the population.
How can you be persuaded to keep the museum, to build a museum in St. John?
How can I do what?
How can you be persuaded?
Persuaded to do that?
Yeah.
We're not going to build a new museum as such. We're going to work with finding an alternate option there. But building a $100 million facility is not really
Minimum
something.
wage, is it going to go up $15?
No.
None. Is it going to go up?
Yeah, it likely will. But I want to get on a formula there, right? I want formula so it's not a political thing. It's basically, it goes up on a like we want this sort of comparison with what's going on, the inflation, all that stuff. And so it just goes up routinely, and businesses can plan on it, and people at working can plan on it.
We're going to try to make it fair for New Brunswickers that does not bilingual to get jobs.
It should be fair, right?
Okay. There's your only question en français. Pourquoi les maisons assurances ont doublé les derniers 3 ans? Understand that?
What is
Pourquoi?
why? Okay, why? Okay.
Pourquoi l'assurance ont doublé l'assurance des maisons ont doublé les dernières 3 années.
It's doubled over 3 years?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't know it had doubled over 3 years.
That's what they told me.
Really?
Why? Do you know?
No,
You
I
look
don't
into
know.
that?
No, I don't know.
No? Okay. Did you already visit a homeless shelter?
Not since I've been premier, but before that.
Do you plan to?
Well, I would anticipate I will, yes.
So what do you plan to do Christmas Eve?
Well, Christmas Eve I'm going to be home with family. New Year's Eve I'm going to be celebrating my mother's 98th birthday.
98. Are you going to invite Chris Austin to sing Christmas songs?
Well, we don't have a plan for that. Will you join us?
Well, you have the piano here in the back. Are you going to play the piano and
I
sing?
don't play the piano. My daughter does. Maybe I'll bring her.
No,
in.
we've seen that. Listen, Mr. Premier, maybe we could do this again, and I apologize for driving your assistant crazy here, even on Facebook. And still, I can't get your personal email.
No, you can't.
I can't. By the way,
No, you can't.
I can't. For a Christmas gift, I can't even get your private email.
No, that's right.
And nobody can get...
Because that would be the gift that just keeps on giving. And we can't have that.
Listen, can you put that up for me before I'm just going to film
here?
the beautiful view that people is.
Yeah, please.
And you take care of that coal.
Yeah, I will, Harold.
Thank you very much. Oh yeah, look at that. Huh? It is a nice view, huh?
I took a picture of this too because you never know how long you're going to be here, right?
You don't, especially you. 2 years, 18 months. So 18 months so far.
Yeah.
Look at the nice view. Yeah.
It is nice.
And stop shaking hands.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to cut that out.
No, over rubber gloves. Thank you.